we're going to do a line break test on fluorocarbon. This is 10-pound fluorocarbon, and we're going to see at what pound this new line breaks. This is unused line. It's not really new line, it's unused. I've got a scale here. It's a fish scale, so I mean, we could be a little bit more scientific, but we're fishermen, right? Fisher people. So as I pull this, I'm at 5.5 pounds, 6 pounds, of just about 7 pounds. And it didn't break on the hook end, it broke on my loop end. Nope, that's a line failure. The line itself broke at 7 pounds. Didn't break the polymer knot. So we had 6 feet of line total, because what I did is I just tied a loop in here at the 4-foot mark. I mean, I could be off an inch or so. But it should be close enough. Should be close enough. Now this is a second brand new line. Just going to do the same thing over again here. See if we can get you on the scale this time. It's about 6 pounds. Let's see where our line failure happened this time. Let's stretch it out here and see if we can find the break point. Ooh, that line's full length. I bet you that broke at the knot. 6 pounds. So that's why you tie a polymer knot. Okay, we got us an eyelet. We're gonna do a polymer knot on the eyelet, and then we're gonna use the scale. This will give us a good knot on both ends. God, I hate saying that all the time. Line break test. Again, this time we got a polymer knot on a eyelet. I shortened the length because my scale was hitting the door. The line stretched so much. So, I mean, it would stretch. This is a 24-inch door. So that line was stretching 24 inches before it would break. Just barely running out of room. And with a better knot, it may not even break at all in that distance. So I had to shorten the line. And now we're just going to pull and hope we don't get a hook in the head. And see what this line breaks at. About 7.5. Sorry about that. £7.5 pounds line break, and I do believe that broke on the scale end. So that's twice that we've hit about 7.5 pounds with line break. What's interesting is it hasn't broken at the hook any of these times. So that's a lot of strain and a lot of pull on that line. That's crazy. That's using a polymer knot and wetting the knot down to do the test. Now let's do the test and not wet the knot down. So on the hook end, we didn't wet the line, and on the eyelet end we did. So let's see what we get here. 9 pounds. And that definitely broke at the hook. That's the first time the line failure occurred at the knot. The eyelet still has the line on it. That tells me that the other 2 times it did break at the eyelet. So with a line break test, that's super interesting. We broke the line 4 times. The best test was using the eyelet because that's the only way we could get a second polymer knot. And the line broke at the scale, which is where it had the most force, I guess. I don't know if that would be evenly forced all the way down the line. But the only time the line broke at the hook was when we didn't wet the knot. And I know from past experience, if you don't wet that knot, you're asking for trouble, because there's sometimes, I always wet the knot and I always test it by hand. And you can even tell when you're pulling on it, you can feel that line stretch or give way when you don't wet it. And sometimes when you do wet it incorrectly, you can feel it. And you'll give that line a quick tug and it'll break right there in your hand, just like you never even tied it. And you just retie it. Anytime I pull that line and I don't like the way it feels, I cut it and retie it again immediately. So I don't have to worry about that. It's not worth it. Most of your line failures occur at your knot. So that just goes to show, if you tie a good poly knot on fluorocarbon, it's going to hold. Probably going to fail somewhere else. So when you're bragging to your buddies that you broke one off, it's probably because your line sucks, not because the fish was huge. Hate to break it to you, but that's the most likely reason. So now we should do the same test with mono. I don't know if I'll have time to do that today, but we'll have to do that as another video, just to see. I've got some 10-pound mono here somewhere. That'd be real interesting. Until then, hopefully the weather's better and you can go fish instead of watching these videos. See ya. All that testing and I just poked myself in the eye with the safety glasses. How's that for ironic?